Okay there. Hey, how are you? It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a live stream here on YouTube. So I missed you guys. And since this is largely unannounced, we'll see how many people we really have coming in here. I will tell you this, though. I've been doing regular live streams over on our Patreon. Um, Microdose U on Patreon, regular live streams there. At least trying to do one every couple of weeks now, maybe even a little more often if we get a different topic. But that's where I've been, and I'm just so sorry. I didn't want to leave anybody alone here. I didn't want to leave you like out to dry, but that's where I've been hanging mostly. So if you're here, say hello, check in, whatever you want to do. I'd love to see who's here. I think mostly, I have a feeling most people are going to be watching this on the replay since this is totally unannounced. I just like popped in, and that's the way it went. So let's get started. I want to say welcome, and I also want to share with you that yeah, it's time goes so fast. It's already the second half of the year, the second half of 2025. Eric, I missed you, my friend, and I'm so sorry. I don't know if you were on at the very beginning, but I said I've been doing most of my live streams over on Patreon, and love to have you hang there. It does cost a tiny bit, a tiny amount of money, but it does help the channel. It goes to a great cause anyway. So, but I'm here now, Eric. So, and I miss you, my friend. I think about you. I'm not kidding when I say this. I think about you and all the fun that we've had on live streams here on YouTube. Give me also, Eric, and anybody else that's here. I see a couple people here. Give me a thumbs up if my video when I'm watching it on my monitor here, it's choppy. It's very choppy. So if the audio and video are totally fine, if you could just give me a little thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that part. And let's talk about oh, cool. Macy. Hey, Macy, how you doing? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's talk about it's the second half of 2025 here. Thanks. Okay, good. Thanks so much, Eric. I appreciate that. Let's talk about this. It's the second half of 2025, guys. I want to know how you're doing. Be honest with me, because I know that a lot of my followers and people that listen to my podcast and watch my podcast on YouTube are, a lot of you guys are microdosing and actually quite successfully. A lot of you. However, some of you are just watching, just listening, and you never take that first step. And because of that, you've still got some issues that you want to fix, whatever they may be. Most common are, of course, anxiety and depression. Those are the most common, but there are so many. I've gotten so many questions and comments lately, especially here on YouTube, because when I do an audio podcast, there's really nowhere, unless somebody sends me a message or somehow, there's really nowhere to like comment on an audio podcast. But here on YouTube, people can comment, and people like Eric oftentimes make comments, which I really appreciate. But a lot of people say that they just haven't gotten going, they haven't started. They're either afraid for some reason or just don't have the they just don't have the drive or something to get started. And again, we're the years go by fast, guys. It's nobody's getting any younger. And do you want to live your best life possible or not? And I know that oversimplifies things because there are other reasons that people don't want to go ahead and start microdosing. And some of the reasons, sometimes people are just afraid to start. It's an unknown, afraid to get into something like this. And also in most areas, not all, but most areas, it is not allowed by law. But I will tell you this, 4+ years ago, I made the decision that my personal mental health is more important than the law. I hate to say it like that. I hate to say it, but so I could be a 100% law-abiding citizen and not do anything like this and feel shitty for the rest of my life. Well, that's not really acceptable to me. So of course, there are some risks, albeit small risks, because nobody's coming into your house and chasing after you if you're doing things in the privacy of your home. And as I say on my show, I always say, make sure you use medicine where it's legal or decriminalized or lawful. But, I say that kind of, I don't want to, do I say that tongue in cheek or like with a little wink, wink? I mean, that's up to you to interpret. That's totally up to you to interpret. Eric says microdosing helps a lot with my sleep. Rest is more restful. Good, good. Say, real, Eric. I wish you were on my Patreon. I really wish you were on my Patreon because I've got a woman who we're doing a live stream tomorrow, a live meeting. So it's actually during a live meeting on Patreon, we're all interact. We can all see each other. Unless you choose to be private, then you can just mute your audio and video. You can, but the people that want to be seen and heard, like a little classroom, we all talk to each other. And Eric, I've got a woman that's I'm pretty sure she said she's going to be there tomorrow. She's having a really tough time with her sleep. Very difficult time. And I don't know exactly how old she is, but I think she's in her early 70s. And she's the nicest woman you'd ever. She's so cool. She's from the South, the U.S., the southern part of the U.S. And she kind of talks like this. And she's just so lovable. We love her, but she's having a tough time sleeping. And I'm going to try to help her out on that in that live meeting tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, I wish you could be there. I think you could shed some light and maybe help her out. But that's a different story. I'm not here to pimp anything or to get people to do things they don't want to do. So, I love coming here on YouTube live and chatting with you all. But I wish I could see you. That's the only thing about YouTube live. YouTube live is that I can't see. I can feel your energy, but I can't see you. So we'll do the best it's okay. We'll do the best we can. And I'll tell you something else. My sleep is generally good, but sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't. I never have a problem falling asleep. That's really, really rare. But sometimes I will wake up in the middle of the night and not often, thank God these days, not often, but I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have a tough time going back to sleep because my mind is always thinking. And especially, I know this is a total no-no, but especially if I go into my device and start going down any rabbit holes there, then I'm fried. I'm done. I can't go back to sleep. So I know enough. I know not to pick up my device in the middle of the night because that's going to ruin my sleep. Microdosing or no microdosing. If you start looking at your device in the middle of the night, if you wake up to use the bathroom or something, at least many people are just fried. Done. You can't go back to sleep. It's very, very tough. Does anybody have any questions? I'd like to answer something, but if you don't, I'm gonna share my answer to probably the most commonly asked question I get. I'd say it has to be number one. The most commonly asked. Let's start that over. No editing here. The most commonly asked question I get about microdosing. Does anybody know what it might be? Any ideas? Whoever gets it first, whoever guesses this wins big time, wins really big time. And speaking about winning big time, I'll give you a second to come up with this. Speaking about winning big time, I took a 51-day road trip this past, from May to toward almost the end of June. 51 days on the road. No, I didn't make it into Canada. Sorry, Eric, didn't make it into Canada. But I won, speaking of prizes, I won a stuffed frog on the boardwalk in Ocean City. And that was like the coolest thing ever. And he came with me on the rest of the road trip riding shotgun. It was a little bit early on in the road trip. So I had this frog riding shotgun in my passenger seat for the rest of the trip. And speaking of awesome, it was awesome. You're never too old. You're never too old to do things like that, like a stuffed animal. One of the reasons I took this road trip is I just turned 70 in May. 70. Can we blink our eyes. We blink our eyes and we're old. What's the story here, guys? I'm not 70, but I am. That's the weirdest thing. But but I feel at 70, I can be young, I can be immature, I can do stupid things. I try not to act like a 70-year-old because I don't want to act like a 70-year-old. Piotr. I think about trying microdosing, but I don't know how to try it on my own. How do I find the perfect amount? I had some different experiences with psychedelics, so I know a little bit. Fair question. Peter, that's Piotr. So I'm going to try not to botch the pronunciation of your name. I'm going to say Piotr, Piotr, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So Piotr, that's the best I can do. You can correct me. You can write it out phonetically if you want. That's actually a much more involved topic than I can do in a live stream. I mean, I could get on here and I could say we're going to do a 1 hour live stream, and from start to finish, I'm going to share everything I know about how to get you microdosing. But I don't want to do that because it's not fair to the people that are already microdosing. So Piotr, you can do this. I will tell you this, it's not difficult. Listen to my podcasts. Um, Listen, join us on Patreon if you can. You can ask any questions there, and also go to my website because I do one-on-one coaching for people that just want their hands held. But that will cost money, but it's free to totally listen to all my shows. Totally free. I share all the information there on my podcast. But I hope you can do it because you'll feel like $1,000,000. Oh, Peter. Okay, say Peter. Okay, cool. So I was trying to be fancy, Piotr, but I'll just say Peter. That's fine. Eric, good to see you enjoying your retirement. I love it. And I'll tell you something else. It's not new. I've been at least I don't like to say I'm fully retired because I do a lot of work with this microdosing channel, like a lot of work. So that's my gig now. But I retired from my full-time business gig actually back in 2020 after COVID, around COVID, when COVID actually that summer. I just had enough, and I just said, I just don't need to be doing this stuff anymore. It's just too much for me. Too much go. I just didn't need it. So I've been kind of like semi-retired like this since May of 2020. So I love it. And the road trick, the road trip was absolutely one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. I connected with people all up and down the East Coast that I know, hung out with them a little bit. But here's the thing. Only people that I felt I wanted to connect with. Like, I got a lot of shout outs. Hey, if you're coming through my area, as much as I'd love to do that, my time was limited. I didn't want to spend the entire trip just making it a social event and connect and having a schedule. I didn't want to do that. It was more like a hippie road trip. But I did meet up with people that I wanted to. And I think maybe some people got pissed off that I couldn't meet up with them. And I hope nobody took it personally. There's only so much time I had when I rolled through a certain city or town. There's only so much I could do. So it's not a diss to anybody whatsoever. It's just that I didn't have the time to meet up with everybody. That's all. Hey, 519 Media, good to see you. Is that I want to say, I think I know 519 Media. Is that, oh God, who's that? That's, I know who you are. Oh my God, I know who you are. The 416 saying hi to the 519. I love, see, this is like, it's like a little family. Hey, Tammy, how are you? How's it going? Thanks for the heart. By the way, I'll try that. You can click on that heart icon like this. And then I don't know if you guys can see it, but when I click it, all these hearts start coming up into the chat. Try that. That helps in some way. Hey, there you go. That helps in some way. I don't know how, but it does. So Eric, an interesting thing about, I know the 416 area code. I know it well. Not that I've spent I've spent a decent amount of time in, Ontario and Toronto, sometime for sure. But years ago, this is a crazy story. Years ago, I remember calling I think I was maybe in my car even. I was calling home, and I was calling my wife, and we were in Maryland at the time, and we have 410 area code 410, and I must have misdialed because the person that answered told me they were in Toronto or Ontario or somewhere where you are, and I said, wait, so the 416. I think because let me see. I think the 6 is probably very close to the 0. Let me see what it looks like. Yeah, oh, no, it's not even I don't know how I did that. 410. It's not even that close. I don't know, maybe too much of a microdose, but I wasn't even microdosing back then, and so I don't but anyway, I knew the 416. Yeah, got you. Um, anyway, the most commonly asked question I get here, the most commonly asked is, drum roll, how can I microdose if I'm on SSRIs? That is by far the most commonly asked question. I want to quit SSRIs, then I'll microdose. No, no, that's not how I recommend. You don't quit SSRIs. First of all, just quitting SSRIs cold turkey is a horrible idea. Always do that in conjunction with your doctor, but you don't want to do it that way. You want to now here's the way I did it, and it worked like seamlessly. You I was on what was I on? Lexapro. Lexapro. What's the generic word for Lexapro? What esca, esca, escitalopram or something like that. Escitalopram. That's close enough. I think that's what it is. I started and I was on it for some depression and anxiety, but some depression for sure, for sure. And it was working. It was working, I'd say 50%, 60%. I still didn't feel great, but I felt better than I did. So I started microdosing and still kept using my Lexapro. I didn't want to just get all because I didn't know if microdosing would be working or not. So after about now, let me get the time frame right. After about 7 to 8 months, this was not like the next day, guys, or it's not the next month, but after about 7 or 8 months, I was feeling really, really good using both. But that's when I decided to start very slowly weaning off of the Lexapro, very slowly. Like I went from, I think I was taking 20 milligrams, 20, and I went to 10 for a while. And I just wanted to monitor, make sure I felt okay, which I did. And then after again quite some time, I cut a tablet in half. I don't think they make a 5, so I cut it in half, I believe. This is from memory. And I took 5 for a while. And then I even cut that in half and went to 2.5. And then again, but all this was very slow and deliberate. And then I went to 0. At any time, realizing that if I started feeling lousy again because I was getting off of the SSRIs, I was going to go back to a level that I thought might work. But remember, SSRIs, when you start taking them, and I'll use Lexapro as the example, when you start taking them, they don't work right away. Sometimes it takes several weeks before you actually start feeling the effect from it. So that also is the opposite is when you just get off of an SSRI, it's still in your system for a while. But eventually it's going to come out of your system, and you're going to crash, and you're going to feel horrible. So be very careful. I don't recommend just getting it off of an SSRI without at least telling your doctor and getting some guidance with that, because and be honest with your doctor. Tell your doctor that you're microdosing. I told my doctor that. I told her. And whether she liked it or not, it's my body. I'm doing it, but I was honest with her. I want my doctor to know everything I'm doing. I mean, I don't want to be taking things that might change something in my system and not have my doc know about it at least. My doctor at first told you shouldn't be Dr. Dave, and she doesn't call me Dr. Dave. She doesn't say doctor. David. David, you shouldn't be using psilocybin. And I said, well, why not? Tell me why it's really working. Tell me why not. And she's this very nice Indian woman. So I love her. She's so nice. And she said, because they are psychedelic. They are psychedelics. And I said, yes, you're totally right. And the problem is, and she didn't know exactly what to say from there. I think she just said, please be safe. I think that she didn't know. Yeah, they're psychedelics. Of course they are. But I'm microdosing, and I'm extremely responsible. And by that time, I was experienced enough to know that it's working great. So let's see. Let's catch up here. Citalopram, Cipralex is in Canada, that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure in the US it's escitalopram. Now, what did I say it was called? Now I met esc what is it called? Now I've got a mental block. At my age, it's okay to have a mental block because sometimes I just do. Lexapro, generic. Escitalopram. That's what I said first. Escitalopram. That's what I said at first. Yeah, depending on what country you're in, and citalopram, almost the same. Escitalopram, citalopram. Yes. Tapering off early, tapering off slowly is essential. Thanks, Eric. Couldn't stress that enough. Slowly and deliberately, and be careful because again, if your symptoms start coming back at you, then you've got to figure out what to do. It's not acceptable to taper off of it and then start feeling depression and anxiety every day. To me, that's not acceptable. Now, I was prepared to do that when I was tapering off while I was microdosing. I was prepared, but I think one time, the first time I went from 10 to 20, I think I felt not great, and I went back up, but then I slowly came back down, and it was fine. It was totally fine. Escitalopram, yes, that's why can't they give a generic name that's a little bit easier? Like who knows how to say and spell escitalopram? I mean, it's not exactly the kind of thing I don't know, maybe that would be like in a spelling bee. Spell escitalopram now, quickly. An evergreen med when a patent expires, the isomer when the patent expires, the isomer becomes a generic. Now I wonder when. So that patent is over. I guess that patent's done. That's why the generic I can't say it. Escitalopram. I guess. Yeah, I guess they're selling it totally generically now. That's my guess. Sorry, Lexapro people, you did all that R&D, but now it's just being sold generically, which is fine. They're making enough money. I'm not too worried about them. Anyway, guys, does anybody have a question? I've got a few of you here. A bunch will be watching, the replay. That's fine, totally fine. Again, this is totally unannounced. I get it. Does anybody have a question though before we ring the bell and call it a day? Does anybody have a question? I'll try to answer anything. Except, I'm sorry, Peter. I just couldn't tell you like from start to finish how to start micro. That would be a little bit. That would be really way over. That would be a lot. Class. Does anybody have a question? Class. Tammy says microdosing has changed my life. I am so glad to hear that. You're a success story, like so many others. Also, Tammy, it's changed mine totally. I don't know why this stuff is not legal. I mean, I don't get it. Oh, they need to do all the studies. Oh, that's going to take 20 years. Oh yeah, I'll wait for that. I'm 70. I'll just wait for that. Oh yeah, no problem. I'll wait. I'll be the only one in the nursing home saying, "Get me my psilocybin, please." No, I'm not going to be in a nursing home. Nursing home. No, I want to live my life to the fullest up until I'm in my late 90s or early 100s. Live my life to the fullest on the ski slopes, traveling, whatever I want to do. Then one day when it's least expected, I just keel over. My mom is 90, almost 91, and she's in a what do you call it? Not assisted no, it's independent living facility. So she does everything on her own. She doesn't drive anymore. She's 90, but she lives like in her own apartment there. And she told me the other day that a friend of hers who's the same age, like 90, 91, something like that, just died suddenly, like the day before they were playing cards or something, and then she just died suddenly. And my mom was really upset, and I understand how upset she is. But I said to my mom, that's like the ideal way to go. She wasn't infirmed for years. She wasn't like she didn't have like long-term illnesses and long-term issues. She lived her life to the fullest. She was playing cards with you, and then she died. I couldn't I couldn't want anything more than that. That's like the greatest. I mean, none of us are going to get out of here. We're not going to live to 200. I don't think. I mean, maybe if we do enough psilocybin, we will, but nobody's going to live to 200. So we're going to go at some point, make it quick, make it just fall over, done. Or in my sleep. In my sleep would be the great. That'd be the best thing, also. But being infirmed in a nursing home, or assisted living is not quite that level, but it's still not what I want to be doing. I want to be I want to be going to more Dead concerts, skiing and traveling and visiting Japan with my wife. I want to be doing that kind of stuff. I don't have time to be sitting in a nursing home or laying in a nursing home. No, that's not for me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, hey, it was great seeing you. Okay, raise your hand or like give me a thumbs up in the chat if you want me to do this a little bit more often. Raise your hand. 90. Yeah, I think Eric, I think so. My wife, not my wife. My wife is younger. My wife is like my wife's like 54. So yeah, it's I've got to like keep up with her. And when we do athletic stuff, I've got to keep up with a 54-year-old woman. Tell me that's not tough. But my mom is 90, and I don't think she looks and acts 70, but definitely 79 or 80, I would say. Sure. She's doing great. And she's so happy. She's got so many activities that she does all the time. She loves it. She's 90 and she loves her life. I mean, that's good. That's good. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. Eric, I appreciate if anybody that doesn't know. I hope it's okay to say this because you're using a screen name, but Info Warrior, his name is Eric, and whenever I do a live stream here, and even on my regular podcast, he's always commenting, and he's just we feel like family. You're the kind of guy I'd like to meet up with one day. I don't know if that'll happen, but it would be really cool to do. But I appreciate every single one of you. Eric just happens to be he's very outspoken and always participates in the class here and comments on the YouTube videos. So that's a great energy, really good energy, and it's from the microdosing. So I'll try to do more of these. I really will. Next time, if you remind me, I want to share. I think I'm I think I'm leaning towards being not introverted. These days I just don't like hanging out in large gatherings with large crowds. I just don't like it anymore. We had to go to a wedding back east just last week, a wedding, and for me it was just very difficult. And of course, I microdosed before. I just don't like large events like that. And I could be the best microdoser in the world, but I don't think it's going to help me enjoy weddings and large events like that when there's like a lot of people, a lot of music, a lot of noise, a lot of drinking. I just don't think I'll ever like those I just don't enjoy them. And I'm not going to try to because why should I fake it? I'll tell you more about that. Oh my God, it was nuts. It was crazy. Bye, guys. Love you. Let's talk soon. I promise I'll try to be back more often. Punish me. Hit me. Ow. Hit me. Punish me. I've been bad. I think it's been like 4 months since I've done a live stream like this. Yeah. Eric, from what I saw at this wedding, a lot of people loved it, I think. A lot of people loved this large, loud, overcrowded gathering. I think a lot of people were having fun. I should talk about this more because I want to like give this the time it deserves, but it's really weird. I started to think to myself, maybe I'm just not fun anymore. Maybe I'm not fun. But no, I like small like this. even though I can't, it's not like my Zoom meeting on Patreon, but even you guys, I can feel your presence. I know you're here. And this kind of gathering, and even if the if we were all just kind of sitting around a little table or something having coffee or tea or whatever, I would enjoy that. But large gatherings, no, I can't do it. And I really was sitting at my table thinking, maybe I'm just not fun. Maybe all these other people are fun, but I'm just not fun anymore. I don't know. Yeah, it's a cool hangout. You don't know how much I appreciate this. That's why I will be back more often. Love you guys. Talk to you all soon. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate each and every one of you that stopped by and anybody watching the replay.